Hello and welcome to a Smurd P video, and a figure that is long overdue for review is Transformers Age of Prime Aerialbot Air Raid. And once again, very excited that we're seeing the Aerialbots because I was very impressed with Slingshot, so I'm looking forward to getting Air Raid out of the packaging and building Superion hopefully over the next couple of months. Hopefully they come through before then. But yep, there's the packaging, nice and simple. Let's get a Air Raid out. So Air Raid out of the packaging, as suspected, looks very nice. I particularly like the fact that he's got different guns to Air Raid. That I can't remember if they had different guns in the show, but I like a little difference per figure because I think it just adds their own individuality. And these just look like two little sort of handheld guns or mini shotguns. However you want to use them, you use them how you want. That head sculpt is phenomenal. Nice crisp blue eyes. You got the Autobot sign there. And then throughout it, you've just got multiple little bits of detail throughout the figure. I'm pretty sure this is a very similar body, just with different types of bits for the airplane. So you can obviously move those out of the way if you prefer. Entirely up to you how you want to display your figure. So the kibble isn't much. It does have a big backpack, but because I think he has quite a stern torso and the legs are quite solid, I don't think you would really be impacted by anything to do with that backpack. And I think they've done incredibly well to keep it as solid as they have. And I am actually quite looking forward to transforming Air Raid into his Ord mode. So let's have a quick look at articulation. So head can go all the way around. Get nice little movement up and down as well. You can do this with the arms. There is this piece here which you have to sort of divert the arm around it. Unless you've got the wings, you are not getting it around the wings. Lift up, nice swivel there on the arm. The usual single there. Nothing on the wrists, which is generally quite normal. Nice spin, so you can get that all the way around if you really want to. He can kick forward quite nicely. You can kick back quite nicely. The kibble is going to stop him from doing that, but I think you can get him in some nice poses regardless. This piece does prevent the old getting that knee up into that bent position, but I'm pretty sure you're not going to be really doing that anyway. And then he's got a little movement on the feet. Not really much going on there, but he has some nice articulation going on. So what I'm going to try and do, I'm going to try and put him on a stand and bring in Slingshot for the just to show them together how they look. Now, because there's a nice backpack, you can get a stand around Air Raid quite nice. And then I just wanted to sort of have a Slingshot sort of in front of him on the ground, and then he is sort of flying up. I think he sits quite nicely. Maybe I could have done a bit better with the legs, but I think it looks all right. It looks pretty darn cool to me anyway. And these two look great together. I'm looking forward to getting this whole squad together because that's what it's all about when I think about collecting. When I want to complete teams, this is how I imagine it. So anyway, without ado, let's transform Air Raid and have a closer look at that. Okay, so quickly, very firstly, let's just have Air Raid and Slingshot in the same scene together, and they look really good. I just love how easy these transform to Ord mode, to robot mode, but part of me worries that over time, if you're doing that constantly, you end up affected. But I think most collectors, by the time they finish this, they will literally just have Superion on their shelf, because that's the end game in my mind. But yeah, just, I mean, you can tell the differences between them, which I think is really good because they had differences specifically when they're in Ord mode. So I'm glad that these have been honored and no shortcuts have happened, because sometimes that is easily done when it comes to Hasbro, as we know. So it just looks really, really nice. Very, very simple, very elegant. You get the nice Aerialbot signs just pinging out off there. The nice sort of, apologies, white that sort of complements it. The fins look really solid. And then you just transform it around. You got a little bit so that you can rest there. Now you do have a big body underneath there, but I feel like you sort of get away with it. And then you've got the two guns on there, which is entirely up to you if you want to pose them with the guns. I feel like the Aerialbots can have the guns, you know. Usually if they're cars, I'm a little bit different, but air fighter jets certainly could have them. I think one thing that I would have liked to have done is have one of the Seekers, so you can see the sort of size between this and a Seeker. I definitely feel like Seeker's slightly bigger and slightly longer, mainly slightly longer. But yeah, definitely this is a really awesome figure. I know that they're probably one of the hardest to get because combiners are damn G1. They're straight in. People pre-order them. Sometimes they pre-order more than one. But I'm very, very happy with it. So if you haven't managed to get it, I would suggest trying to get it, but I would suggest trying not to pay over the odds. Take your time, don't rush it. I suspect they will crop up a few times before this is sort of over and they become really, really hard to get. So yeah, just don't rush it and spend over the odds in my mind. So anyway, I hope you like my video. If you do, please do support my channel by subscribing. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. And oh my goodness, we are not finished because I have not done the combiner mode. Wait a minute, I'm not finished. Okay, very simple. You pretty much change them into like a mini brick. Very, very straightforward. Bits just sort of collapse and close in. And then the idea is you're meant to peg this onto, I think it's the right leg. I think that's the piece he goes on to. I find it quite irritating when I look at the instructions. The instructions don't actually tell you what to do. I'm hoping in Silverbolt's instructions there is a whole section around how you should be transforming these. But I think I figured it out quite easily enough. And, you know, once you've done one leg, you can certainly do the other. Same with slingshot on the arm. Once you've done one, you can certainly do that. So this is finally the end of the video, and so sorry that I almost forgot about this. I would have been kicking myself, put it that way, and would have I'm sure I would have inserted it in earlier in the video perhaps, rather than making that awful end. So if you do like my video, you managed to stay this long, well done. And please subscribe to my channel. I'd really appreciate it. Thank you for watching. Thank you to everybody that subscribed to my channel. Make sure you look after yourself and embrace geekiness. Take care. Goodbye.